Today on my TH17, I'm going to be bringing you guys through my CW attacks for the week. And of course, first off, we're going to swap all the way up to number 11. Who would have guessed it? And recently, I've been trying out that new, well, not new, but that recently popular Fireball, Jetpack, Super Minion, Rocket Loon army. And first off, we get the space that I'd really love to do with roots, but nope, unfortunately, we are going to be fireballing this one today. And first off, for the actual Jetpack value, I figured that obviously I want to take out the Revenge Tower and the Lava Launcher in the core over there. So to actually set up the Fireball for means of value as well as setting up a funnel, I figured that I could probably set up a quick fireball onto this raid section over here and then reroute my warden to actually take out the monolith after the fireball. Although because I am Town Hall 17, I do not have the luxury of bringing an ice block, to which theoretically that's actually okay and a bit preferred, because the main purpose of the fireball isn't to get deep value but rather to set up a pretty light fireball just to set up the funnel. Although we're looking back on this, it was really sketchy here because I'm sending the warden straight into a bunch of defenses without too many trash buildings around to hook him onto. So I plan to send a fireball straight onto the rage tower, but I realized, it's probably okay if I send it onto the inferno tower. So I drop my invises 1, 2, 1 on the warden for good measure, and oh shoot, we completely missed it. We hit the monolith. Oh god, we completely missed the rage section. Oh gosh, thank god there's no modifiers because my warden would be absolutely cooked right now. And thank god a booger didn't trigger the rage tower because we'd be even more cooked right now. Oh god, it's so over. I guess I'm gonna pull the clan castle so that my archer queen and my general hero dive won't have to deal with it. But I don't know if I should have done that because my warden's already facing enough damage as it is with the expo and the fire spitter, and I have to pray that he doesn't trigger the rage tower with the boogers. We pull the clan castle, and for some reason there's a freaking balloon in there. Like, no one ever brings a single balloon. I'd be okay if it was 2 ice golems and a furnace, but for some reason there's a balloon in there. Oh god, the warden can't handle that. Recall him out of there. And we are in a bit of a pickle here because we have the entire raid section is still standing, and we can't have that because we need the queen to actually launch onto the clan castle and then head towards the left with the duke and the king. But of course we can't have the queen getting squeezed from both sides, so I'm gonna send in my king and the siege barracks to hopefully take out this entire right raid section over here. And because I was twiddling my thumbs for who knows how long, we already reached the point, well, way past the point at which I was supposed to send my queen jetpack combo with the jetpack arrow, but it's already 1:20 and I'm like, oh shoot, I have to get going right now. So I pray that my queen and the duke don't get squeezed from both sides. Alright, looks like my king's finishing up the right side rage compartment, and I'm just gonna pop his spiky ball to actually finish it off and hurry the crap up to actually meet up with the rest of my hero dive. Alright, I'm gonna pop the totem up there just to stall the logger and make sure that my healers don't die. And now I'm gonna have to go back and forth between the warden and my heroes to make sure they don't get absolutely obliterated by this raid section over here. Rage tower pops, and I'm looking back at the warden. Alright, looks like I have to send headhunter for the king. Alright, back to the raid section. Unfortunately, it looks like the scatter shot absolutely obliterated my duke, and I dropped the freeze to kind of save the hero dive for a bit. I tried grabbing both the scatter shot and the inferno tower. Unfortunately, I could only grab the inferno tower, but that's okay because the scatter shot was locked onto the duke. Alright, looks like we've wrapped up the raid section, and looks like we do have enough troops to actually get through the rest of the base, but we are running extremely short on time, and we still have to break through this last multi-gear compartment to actually get to the multi-gear. Oh crap. Very lucky for me, the walls are extremely rushed, so I'm able to break through that expo compartment with bear thingy from the druid, and the queen is able to access it, but unfortunately the queen can't reach the multi-gear. Only the warden can, and I was really hoping that that 1 elixir pump up there would be really low HP so my warden would have enough time to reach the multi-gear. Luckily the elixir pump is at like 2 HP, and we just barely snag enough time to take down the multi-gear tower. There was like 3 other people watching me, and all of our buttholes simultaneously unclenched. Day number 2, I just got home and I didn't have enough time to actually coordinate a swap with anyone, and looks like I didn't learn my lesson because we're running the same army yet again. But this time looks like things are going to be a bit easier because the revenge tower and the monolith are straight down the middle of the base, and I figured that if I set up the queen arrow onto the multi-inferno down there, that's going to be just such incredible value for my jetpack combo. And now for the actual fireball, I'm looking at one of the raid sections over there, and I figured that I should go for the right side raid section because the fire spitter on the left side for some reason is facing the town hall, and it would be a lot more convenient if I wouldn't have to deal with the fire spitter while actually entering the town hall from the bottom. So I figured that after I send my warden to take out the raid section down here, I can just send him up to take care of the fire spitter without too many problems. And now I'm just going to set my warden over there to let him eventually work towards the raid section. And now I'm going to try to set up a few super minions at the bottom to take out some of those buildings down there to set up a really nice queen arrow straight onto the inferno tower over there. Also going to set up some rocket loons and some super minions just to clear the way for my warden to set up a clean fireball onto that rage tower. And now, because I don't have the luxury of an ice block, I really have to pay attention to how I sell. Oh my gosh, this guy shot did so much damage. All right, no time. Invisible water, set up the fireball, 2 earthquakes. Oh, lovely. Oh, and we take out the entire rage compartment, and I actually missed the rage tower itself. It actually worked out for me because we took out the entire rage compartment plus damaged the fire spitter and the inferno up there, which I wasn't really intending to do, but lucky how that turned out, I guess. All right, now we're just chilling. We do have some time before we do have to set up the arrow, so I am going to let my warden do his thing, take out the entire right side of the base, and then also send some super minions just to really guarantee the funnel and set up the arrow onto the inferno. So after I deploy my queen, my duke, my queen, and my king have nowhere to go but towards the right side of the base. Gonna recall my warden onto the top side to take care of that marcher and backwards fire spitter. Gonna take a moment to really prepare myself for the deployment order. All right, drop the earthquakes, drop the duke, drop the queen at the bottom. Straight up the middle of the base. Perfect. We get absolutely everything we asked for. We do pull the clan castle, but I do catch it just in time. Looks like we do pull some witches and some headhunters, and I do poison just to take care of that. Warden safe for a bit. All right, gonna go back to my heroes. All right, let's check back on the warden again. All right, he is approaching the long shot. Luckily, we don't have to deal with the backwards facing fire spitter. And all right, as long as the warden is just facing the long shot on his own, he won't be having too many issues. And I'm just gonna drop some rocket loons onto the marcher just to make sure that my warden won't have to deal with it. All right, looks like the march is going to go down. Now I can just totally focus on my actual hero dive. I did angle the log launcher to just barely snipe out that multi-inferno tower. Awesome. And looks like my heroes are comfortably plowing through that right side rage compartment. King is on the outside. Perfect. Queen and duke are on the inside. Perfect. I still do have the druid and my queen is nice and healthy. To be honest, that actually doesn't happen a lot. My queen is usually dead by now. That's just a skill issue, really. But wow, looks like the base is already gone. Deploy the king ability to finish off whatever's left. And what the heck happened to the entire base? I swear, there was like a whole rage section. There's a whole long... Oh, it's already gone. Wow, would you look at that? Day number 3, I honestly didn't bother wait to swap with anyone. Didn't really have enough time. Anyways, same thing. We're just gonna send an arrow up the middle of the base, take out the revenge tower and the monolith. Very easy. And then for the actual fireball, I figured that I don't really need to invest too much to actually set up a decent fireball. I can just toss the fireball onto this right side and take out a good chunk of defenses. And then over on the left side, I see that we have these 3 defenses out here that I could just easily snipe down with the flame flinger. And I figure that I can afford the flame flinger over there because the town hall is only 3 tiles from that layer of walls, and worst case scenario, my queen can just, I guess, snipe out the long shot over the walls, so it won't be really that difficult to actually deal with the town hall and the core area. Drop my warden onto the right. Now just gonna drop my flame flinger on the left, make sure that there's no traps over here. All right, drop the flame flinger, and it's just gonna be doing tons of work throughout the entirety of the attack. Let my warden chill over here, and I'm sending up the balloons up there just to kind of bias him downwards after I deploy the fireball. Speaking of fireball, after I take down this mortar, just gonna drop an invis, 2 earthquakes. Pew! Take out a solid chunk of the right side, I guess. I mean, for what it's worth, for only 1 invis, we took out like 5 defenses, which is pretty good value in my opinion. And alright, looks like the warden's just gonna be continuing his path downwards, which is awesome because I do want to have the heroes go up and left towards that fire spitter area after I deploy the arrow. Drop a super minion down here just to set up the giant arrow onto the mortar. And speaking of giant arrow, let's set up the duke now. Duke, earthquakes, scroll down, queen, straight up the middle of the base, and now we've created a gaping hole in that core area. Just look at that. That's absolutely beautiful. And unfortunately, it looks like I was too hasty with my queen deployment because I didn't clear enough buildings on the right side to actually funnel the queen towards the center and left. Unfortunately, she is going right somehow, and honestly, I thought I was screwed because I thought the queen was stuck outside the base because none of my wall breakers actually landed their hits onto the walls to actually get my queen inside. But somehow I lucked out, and my earthquakes that I dropped onto the monolith and revenge tower actually damaged the walls enough to where my 3 wall breakers that I tried to drop onto the wall, they did like just die, but somehow their death damage was enough to actually break open the already weakened walls from the earthquake. So I really did luck out there. Single inferno on my duke, so of course I do invis this single inferno to make sure my duke can't target the single inferno. And then of course I do end up invising the duke afterwards because that was 100% what I intended to do. And yeah, even though we messed up like 5,000 elements of this attack, the base is already gone. Honestly, a lot of it was due to just how bad the base was, but you know what, 3 stars or 3 star, I'll take it, I guess. Day number 4, after a bit of trading, I'm gonna hit up all the way to number 9. Let's see the base, and looks like we get ourselves a double poison base, and right off the bat, I see that, oh my gosh, there's too much flame flinger value at the top just to simply pass up. So even though I'm probably gonna start my heroes at the bottom, I figure that, you know what, I'm just gonna tough it out. I'm just gonna have my heroes get to the town hall somehow without the log launcher. And speaking of value, oh my gosh, look at that. We got the monolith and the revenge tower in a straight line down the base yet again. And to be honest, if I wasn't cheesing this, I probably would have gone for the clan castle, the lava launcher, and the revenge tower, and then toughed it out with the monolith. But I was like, I'm not too confident with this army. I'll just take out the monolith and revenge tower, and I will take out the lava launcher. Like, I know my principles shouldn't allow me to do that, but I don't know, I wasn't really feeling it today, to be honest. And because I'm starting my heroes from the bottom, I figure that I should probably make a funnel with my warden at the bottom as well. And luckily enough, we have a very convenient fireballable poison compartment right down over here, so I'm just gonna set up a very easy fireball after setting up some of the arrow funneling. Drop an archer and minion just to set up the arrow onto the army camp. Ooh, free fireball, don't mind if I do. Boom! Take out the entire compartment, and now we don't gotta deal with that. All we gotta worry about is setting up the arrow for our queen. There is a Tesla down there, but no worries. Just set up another minion over here. Just keep an eye on those to wait for the opportunity to deploy my queen. Looks like our warden is now heading towards this topside area with the multi-archer and the archer queen over there. And to be honest, I haven't fully learned all the interactions with the warden and the super minion, so I decided, you know what, instead of sending a headhunter, I'm gonna send a super minion to try to take down the queen as well. And oh, big mistake. If I was on Legend 1 modifiers, my warden would be 100% dead right now. Alright, definitely send in the super minion way earlier, or at least just send in the headhunter to be safe. Yep, definitely not doing that again. Recall my warden. Now let's set up the jetpack, earthquakes, duke, scroll down, queen, straight up the middle of the base. Beautiful. And we've just created a monster funnel inside the base. Look at that. Wow. And even though I expressed concerns about my heroes not being able to reach the town hall due to not having access to the lava launcher, I figured that, you know, it's probably not too much of an issue because I'd be fine with my heroes kind of like routing along the outside of the base, as my duke can probably like fly in and take care of the ricochet and the multi-inferno over there. And even so, even if the duke doesn't, I can probably just deal with these defenses like one at a time. And by the time I deal with that ricochet and the multi-inferno over there, everything else would have been gone by now. So really, it's just a game of just toughing out the defenses rather than actually making a path towards the town hall. And speaking of town hall, looks like my warden is now fighting the long shot, and for some reason I got really concerned about the warden fighting the long shot and the inferno at the same time, so I invis, but I did of course mess up the invis, so I was forced to use a totem. And again, I don't really know why, because the warden can deal with a level 5 long shot plus inferno even on Legend 1 modifiers, I think. I mean, nonetheless, we take down the long shot, and looks like we had to deal with the king, but no worries, we do got both headhunters still left over, and the duke did fortunately listen to me and actually did fly over the left side multi-inferno and ricochet compartment, and now the base is entirely gone. Huh. And if you want to learn how to wipe Town Hall 18s like it's nothing, feel free to check out my membership, where I drop exclusive, super in-depth attack analysis videos on taking down Town Hall 18s at lower Town Hall levels. It's really insightful. You should buy one. Next up for day 5, we got another Town Hall 18. Who would have guessed? And do you even really need me to explain where we're gonna jetpack arrow, right? And a lot of people for this space, they end up doing a pretty cheap fireball, usually take out just like the monolith or something, but I'm Town Hall 17 and I find that, you know, I can't afford that. And all of these Town Hall 18s, they end up just toughing out the triple inferno and lava launcher, but I'm Town Hall 17. I can't do that. So I'm gonna try to play a bit risky and actually fireball that triple raged multi-inferno and lava launcher compartment with my warden without an ice block. Again, it's gonna be a bit risky, but I think it's worth it in order to safely take out the town hall as well as guarantee enough jetpack value. And because I'm gonna deploy my queen at the bottom, I do need something to actually funnel my heroes towards the left or the right side. So I figured that I could probably set up a flame flinger on the bottom after Rocket Loon sniping the expo to take out the multi-archer tower and the scatter shot. It's honestly, the Rocket Loon investment in itself isn't really worth it. And I always tell people that if you're Rocket Loon investing just to take out 2 tier 1 defenses, it's not really worth it, especially considering that it's only a scatter shot in the multi-archer tower. But I figure that this flame flinger is extremely crucial for actually setting up the funnel for my heroes. So this is probably one of the rare instances where I'm like, you know what, go for that absurdly expensive flame flinger setup for what it's worth. Just letting my warden take out some of those defenses out here, and I'm just waiting for a good time for him to set up the fireball onto the rage tower over there. And I'm trying to slowly drip feed troops into the long shot so that it doesn't explicitly target my warden. And of course I end up placing the furnace right on the edge of the range of the long shot, so that was a really smart move. Right on top of the super minion too, so I effectively wasted 24 housing space for nothing. And again, I say this a lot, but the warden cannot handle anything more than a long shot and another defense. So as long as I take down that super wizard tower, I'm okay with the warden stepping up and then taking a long shot, but of course he doesn't get attracted to the long shot for some reason, and he heads down and completely ignores the long shot. Thanks a lot. So now that the warden's just not going to take out the long shot at all, I'm going to send the super minion to try to snipe it out. And now that the warden's locked onto the elixir storage over here, I take this opportunity to set up the fireball. 1 2 3, ding, boom, take out. Oh, I hit the lava launcher. Oops. No worries, I took out both inferno towers, and that's okay. Wardens take out the monolith. Absolutely perfect. Send the king down here to funnel the queen. Now we're gonna set the jetpack, duke, earthquakes, queen, straight through the monolith and the clan castle and rage tower. Unfortunately, it looks like our super yeti did prematurely pull the clan castle and trigger the rage tower, and we are going to be handling the full brunt of these raged up fire spitters, but at least we don't gotta deal with, I think, the furnace and the revenge tower, so that's always a good plus. Recall the warden up to the top side. I ignore him and just take a look at his health while I focus on the hero dive down here. Alright, hero dive. Looks like the duke is heading towards the scatter shot. Awesome. Oh, bye, warden. I sent the warden straight to the king. Warden absolutely did. The warden actually did nothing. I just sent the warden straight to the king to die in like 2 seconds. Holy crap. Our duke is still alive. He still has a phoenix. We still got the king and queen. We definitely have enough power to finish through the rest of the base, but now it's kind of an issue against time. But looking at the rest of the base after the warden died, I realized, wait, the only air targeting defenses left were the super wizard tower and the multi-archer tower over here. So I decided to just drop my last super minion to snipe out the wizard tower. And yep, looks like the super minion is able to clutch up and clean up the back end. And even after losing the warden, I think this attack was still pretty sick with the fireball and the jetpack. Alright, day 6, and look, I'm gonna be so real. I just don't like the super minion fireball jetpack army. I gave it a shot for like 2 weeks. I've been doing tons of attacks with it. I think it's a really sick army, but it's just not for me, man. However, I have been trying this fireball flame blower attack, and I gotta say this, I fell in love with this attack like instantly. I've been doing this thing with like Legend 1 modifiers on Town Hall 18s. I'm crushing bases like left and right. It's so much fun. So I think instead of the super minion attack, I'm gonna be sticking with fireball flamethrower from now on. And to divide up this space, I'm gonna fireball, or at least try to fireball, the bottom rage compartment. I'm gonna set up a flame flinger on the top rage compartment after sniping out the expo with the help of a few rocket loons and an invis spell. And then I'm gonna finally use the flame blower on the right corner to take out the multi-gear, the monolith, and then hopefully the clan castle if I can reach it. And then using the final setup by the flame flinger, I'm gonna hero dive from the top into the town hall area. And now the main issue with this attack is that, of course, I have so much spell space. I don't really have this space for an ice block, so the main challenge for this attack is usually setting up a somewhat deep and valuable fireball whilst also not using an ice block. Luckily, I think I do have enough experience with setting up ice blockless fireballs, but of course, if you watch my channel for any period of time, you know that half the time I do ice blockless fireballs it ends up in like really bad disaster. So this is definitely a skill I'll have to continue to grow and adapt to. Alright, we set up a flame flinger on the top side after sniping out that expo. Flame flingers can be doing tons of work on the top side over there. Now going back to the actual warden dive, I'm gonna be honest, I actually don't really know where I'm gonna fireball. I'm hoping honestly anywhere in that rage compartment to take out the, I don't know, maybe like the scatter shot. I mean, obviously I was really hoping for the rage spell tower itself, but obviously that's not really realistic. Pop down the fireball onto the scatter shot, we get a decent enough fireball, and now we get into the really sketchy part to where my warden was facing two expos and the flame spitter at the same time. Pop down the freeze to try to save the warden. I think the totem would have definitely been a huge help here, but I just can't really afford the totem. I do need the freeze over the totem just in case there is a mass headhunter clan castle, and I do end up popping the rage onto the warden as well, so I don't know, I guess I kind of wasted the freeze spell on the flame spitter. Alright, warden's gonna be stalled onto the clan castle, and now it's about time to use the final setup by the flame flinger to get my heroes into the town hall compartment. Gonna drop my king up here, and then once the king reaches a decent enough spot, gonna send in my queen as well, and then I'm gonna start the flame blower setup over here. Angry spell, duke, earthquakes, Boom! Take out both the monolith and the multi-gear. Unfortunately, we didn't take out the clan castle, but it wasn't really necessary because we already pulled the clan castle. How do we even pull the clan castle? Like, my warden was nowhere near. I still don't know how I pulled the clan castle, in all honesty. Alright, looks like the king has broken into the town hall compartment. I'm gonna pop his ability to give my queen access to the revenge tower and the fire spitter that's being really annoying down there. And looks like our warden is going to be avoiding the revenge tower. Perfect. Oh man, look at that spiky ball. Just hit the revenge tower so that dude can just cleanly finish it off. And all we gotta worry about now is, I guess, the 2 super wizard towers and the rage single inferno. Oh no, rage single inferno. And we somehow still have the queen ability. That's actually kind of insane. I think the main reason why I switched to this variation instead of the giant arrow jetpack variation, because even though I really love the jetpack combo, I just hate not having the safety of the queen with her giant and magic mirror deployment at whatever convenient spot you can place her. Like, throughout the majority of the super minion attack, you have to set up your queen in a way to where she is safe throughout the entirety of the attack, and I just don't find that consistent at all, especially at townhall 17 levels. I just really miss having the flexibility of popping her giant and magic mirrors to just absolutely melt through any compartment. Alright, day number 7, I'm going to be hitting my mains mirror number 11. Not because anyone needed to trade, but just because I felt like it, to be honest. And we get this pretty old double rage anti-jetpack base. And of course, right off the bat, I am going to launch a fireball onto that rage tower. And then fireball is going to make a very convenient funnel to wrap my warden into the revenge tower so I can take it down early into the attack so I don't have to deal with it when it's fully charged up. And of course, there's a bunch of free flame flinger value at the top. So after I pull the clan castle and take down some of the mortars, I am going to launch the flame flinger up there. And then for the actual Duke jetpack flame blower, I'm just gonna flame blower out the monolith and the fire spitter so I don't really have to worry about the monolith later throughout the attack. And that's gonna force my hero dive into the other raid compartment. And I'm just realizing that actually instead of flame flingering from the top, I should probably flame flinger from the left side to actually contribute to my hero dive's funnel to guarantee that my heroes are actually gonna get into the town hall compartment. So yep, at the very last moment I decided, you know what, I'm gonna swap my flame flinger plan onto the left side over here. So recap of the plan: fireball onto the right rage compartment, flame flinger at the top left after pulling the clan castle, hero dive into the rage compartment and use the king ability to open up the walls into the clan castle, and then flame blower onto the monolith to send the duke over to the other side of the base to help with the hero dive, and then recall the warden onto the right side to clean up whatever's left. Just gonna deploy the warden down here while he's safe and then pull the clan castle. Looks like it's gonna be a slow ice golem and ice hound. Alright, while the warden's locked onto the elixir storage, just gonna drop the fireball right about now. No ice block needed, and looks like the warden's gonna be stalled onto the ice hound for a while. Just great. But while he's safe over there, just gonna drop the flame flinger over here, check with an archer. Awesome. Looks like the flame flinger is gonna get infinite value throughout the entirety of the attack. And honestly, I'm kind of fed up with how slow the warden is dealing with the clan castle, so I'm just gonna decide to poison here. Honestly, it might have been a mistake because I already had the furnace, but I probably should have saved it for the long shot in hindsight. Whatever. I also decided to snipe out these archer towers on the left and right so that I can set up some minions on the outside to also contribute to the funnel to guarantee that my heroes stay on the inside. Also to kind of guarantee that my king spiky ball doesn't go rogue and focus on too many trash buildings. It's a really minor detail, but I think it does really add up in the long run of the attack. Awesome. Looks like the warden was able to take down the revenge tower and he's stepping forward into this expo. I'm kind of hoping that he takes down this expo, but then I saw, hell no, the long shot's doing some work, so I'll recall him straight out of there and drop him onto the right side. Kind of running late on the hero dive, so I'm going to drop the duke over here and I'm going to try to angle him onto the dark elixir drill. Drop the earthquake flame blower. Boom! Take out both the monolith and the flame spitter. Oh my god, I couldn't have asked for a more perfect lineup. Holy crap. Also, something pre-triggered the rage tower. I'm not really sure what, but hey, I'm not complaining. Send the hero dive into the rage compartment, and that is a single inferno for some reason. Alright, I'm just keeping an eye out on that thing and making sure it doesn't completely melt one of my heroes. Freeze it as it begins to ramp up on my king, and right at the moment, the fox activated, so that was awesome. But looks like the king is able to nudge himself onto the inferno tower and open up the walls for the queen, and wow, would you look at that, the duke was able to actually funnel the heroes into the town hall compartment, and the heroes legit had nowhere else to go but straight into the town hall compartment. I think that even if I didn't pop the king ability, they'd be forced to go into the town hall just because of the amazing funnel that we set up with the duke as well as the minions from before. And would you look at that, the base is already gone. Holy cow, I am so in love with this attack, dude. Shout out to Mikey Cock for Mikey Clash of Clans for bringing light to this attack for me. I know he didn't make the army, but he definitely did introduce it to me. And boom! boom, we got promoted to Champion 3. Oh, I'm so excited to actually play with Legend modifiers now. Holy crap, CWL felt like such a bore without modifiers. I'm actually kind of stoked to see how my Town Hall 15 performs with the Legend 3 modifiers against Town Hall 18s. But yeah, unfortunately, speaking of my Town Hall 15, I didn't really get to use it this CWL because I was preoccupied with the Town Hall 15 Cup, and I was honestly too lazy to move it back and forth between the clans. So yeah, no Town Hall 15 CWL video this time around. Oh no, what will I do without my free 12,000 views?